I'm about to show you a battery that breaks every rule you were taught about electric vehicles. This isn't a concept. This isn't a lab demo. This is already inside real machines.
Today we are making history because Donut Battery is the world's first solid-state battery in production vehicles shipping to customers.
Exactly, and this is Marko Laitamaki, the CEO of Donut Lab, the guy who's actually building and shipping this technology, not just talking about it. 1. The battery that refuses to die. Everyone talks about range. Everyone talks about speed. But Donut Lab casually dropped a number that sounds illegal. 100,000 charge cycles. Not 10,000, not 20, 100,000. That's not a battery. That's a lifetime contract. Marko literally says this thing can outlive the motorcycle itself. You can drain it to 0, slam it back to 100. Do it again, and again, and again. No babying. No range anxiety, no degradation panic. Traditional EV batteries start aging after 2,000 or 3,000 cycles. This one laughs at that. That single claim alone flips the entire EV ownership model upside down. Cars stop being disposable tech. Batteries stop being liabilities. This becomes something you hand down. The wild part is they're not pitching this as a lab experiment. This is shipping. Real vehicles. Real customers. And that's when people started paying attention.
The cycle life that is normally in cars maybe 2,000, 3,000 cycles. This is 100,000 cycles. So that's like probably 30 lifetimes of a motorcycle. So you never have to worry about babying the battery or worrying if you can let it go to 100% or 0. It doesn't mind. You can do whatever you want, charge it to full, let it go to 0 as many times as you want. It doesn't degrade.
Think of it like a phone that never slows down, even after years of charging. Or shoes that never wear out no matter how much you walk. That's how different this battery is from anything we've seen before. 2. Charging, that feels like cheating physics. Here's where it stops sounding real. Less than 10 minutes. 0 to full. Not 80% marketing math. Full. Marko says cell-level charging can hit 5 minutes depending on cooling. That's not fast charging. That's gas station fast. Except you're not burning anything. The reason this matters isn't convenience, it's infrastructure. It means EVs no longer need massive battery buffers. You stop planning your life around chargers. You stop designing cities around slow energy. When charging time collapses, everything downstream changes. Fleet vehicles, emergency services, logistics. Even motorcycles suddenly become long-distance machines without compromise. And yes, it pulls power from Tesla chargers, up to 200 kilowatts. Plug in, blink, leave.
You can go to a Tesla charger.
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
And it will accept a charge from a Tesla charger.
Yes, absolutely.
Got it. And so what is the max rate it will charge in kilowatts?
I think it's somewhere around 200.
200 kilowatts. Okay, that's like a Tesla.
10C, yeah.
Yeah.
That's 10C. That with that rate, you go below 10 minutes. Yeah.
It's like charging your phone in the time it takes to tie your shoes. Waiting disappears, and suddenly, electric feels easier than petrol. 3. Solid state without the usual excuses. Solid-state batteries have been promised for over a decade. Always next year. Always 5 years away. Donut Lab just skipped the waiting room. No liquid electrolyte. No thermal runaway. No fire risk. You can literally shoot the cell and it won't ignite. It just loses capacity where it's damaged. That's insane for energy storage. This is why they're pushing beyond vehicles. Grid storage, home batteries, charging stations, places where fires are unacceptable. The safety angle here isn't marketing fluff, it's foundational. Remove liquid electrolytes and suddenly temperature stops being the enemy. Minus 30 Fahrenheit, 200 Fahrenheit. Same performance, no preconditioning. No warm-up rituals, it just works.
Yeah, that's the other thing that, so there's no risk of thermal runaway, so it won't ignite. I mean, even if you shoot through it or do whatever you want to the cell, it will be just fine. It just loses the capacity from the area where you shot. But yeah, so there's no risk, and that's actually a huge thing.
Imagine a battery like a solid brick instead of a bottle of liquid. You can shake it, hit it, or freeze it, and it still works safely. 4. Power density that makes engineers uncomfortable. 400 watt-hours per kilogram. That number alone explains the chaos at CES. That's state of the art. But combined with instant torque and insane motor integration, it becomes something else. Donut Lab isn't just making batteries, they're redesigning how energy and motion live together. The Verge motorcycle uses a hubeless rim motor. No physical contact, magnetically separated. Zero friction losses. Up to 200 horsepower from something that shouldn't be able to do that. Because the motor sits in the wheel, the entire chassis becomes battery space. That's how you get 350 miles of range on a motorcycle. This isn't incremental improvement. This is architectural disruption.
Yeah, so Verge TS Pro uses already our motors here. So it's an in-wheel motor, it's a rim motor, what we say, how we call it.
I've also heard the term hubless.
Yeah, it's hubless rim motor, so it's normally you have in-wheel motors in the hub.
It's like putting the engine inside the wheel of a bicycle and suddenly making it faster than a car. 5. Why the entire industry suddenly showed up. By day one of CES, over 600 companies were already asking questions. By the next morning, it crossed 1,000. OEMs don't swarm booths unless something serious is happening. Donut Lab already operates at gigawatt-hour scale, tens of gigawatt-hours coming next year. Modular factories, no gigafactory dependency. That means faster global rollout, cheaper scaling, fewer bottlenecks. This isn't a moonshot startup hoping for acquisition. This is a platform play. Drop-in replacements for existing vehicles, motors, batteries, skateboard platforms. If you're an automaker and you ignore this, you don't fall behind. You disappear.
I'll read some of the headline figures. They are 400 watt-hours per kilogram, which is state-of-the-art. They fully charge in 5 minutes. They'll last 100,000 cycles. They're extremely safe, operating from minus 30 degrees Celsius to 100 degrees Celsius, which basically means Arctic cold to boiling point of water for those that don't use Celsius. And they are built on abundant materials, so non-toxic, easy supply chains.
It's like every big brand lining up because they know the future just walked into the room. 6. The battery that doesn't care about abuse. This is the moment where Donut Lab quietly breaks every unspoken rule of electric vehicles. Every EV owner today knows the routine. Never charge to 100% too often. Never let it drop too low. Avoid extreme fast charging. Treat the battery gently, or you'll pay for it later. Now Donut Lab comes in and basically says none of that matters anymore. This battery can be drained to absolute zero, not 5%, not a hidden buffer, but 0.0. And then, immediately, it can be fast charged at extreme rates without warming up, without preconditioning, without damage. That alone is unheard of. Lithium-ion batteries chemically hate extremes. They degrade faster when pushed hard. That's why EV software is full of invisible limits trying to protect the battery from the driver. Donut Lab removes that entire layer of anxiety. Charge it to 100% every single day. Run it empty every single night. Repeat that cycle endlessly. According to them, the battery simply does not care. No stress, no long-term damage, no noticeable degradation. What this really changes is behavior. EV ownership stops feeling like managing a fragile device and starts feeling like using a normal machine. You stop planning your charging habits around chemistry. You stop worrying about resale value because the battery outlives the vehicle itself. Over decades, this flips the economics of EVs completely. Batteries stop being consumables. They become permanent components.
Normally, you cannot get lithium-ion batteries to zero.
Right, we know
right?
about that.
Yeah.
5% is the lowest we like to go.
Yeah, this can go 0.0.
And the battery doesn't get damaged.
No, then you can go with 5C charging from the next moment without warming it up or anything. It just takes it like nothing.
Imagine your phone never dying no matter how much you play games or watch videos. That's how Donut Lab's battery treats electric vehicles. 7. Why extreme cold is no longer a problem. Cold weather has always been the silent killer of EV confidence. The moment temperatures drop, range shrinks. Charging slows down. Performance becomes unpredictable. In some regions, this alone has stopped mass adoption. Donut Lab casually erases that problem. Minus 30 Fahrenheit. Still 99% capacity. That's not a small improvement. That's a fundamental shift. The reason is simple but powerful. There is no liquid inside the battery. Nothing freezes. Nothing thickens. Nothing needs warming up before it works properly. Traditional batteries rely on liquid electrolytes that become sluggish in the cold. Solid state removes that limitation entirely. No preconditioning rituals, no waiting for the battery to wake up. It just performs. This matters far beyond convenience. Think Canada, Scandinavia, Northern Europe, Northern United States. Military vehicles operating in harsh climates. Arctic logistics, emergency response fleets that can't afford downtime. EVs stop being city-friendly gadgets and start becoming universal machines. When temperature stops being a limiting factor, geography stops deciding where electric vehicles make sense.
Even at like 25 or 30 minus Fahrenheit, it will have 99% of capacity.
Even so, the reason you can do that is there's no liquid in the battery. It's
Exactly.
solid state.
Yeah, so 200 Fahrenheit to minus 30 Fahrenheit, it's 99 point something capacity.
Think of a water bottle that never freezes in winter. EVs now work anywhere, from snowy Canada to icy military zones without slowing down. 8. The shape-shifting battery nobody was ready for. This is where Donut Lab quietly unlocks something most people haven't even considered yet. The battery doesn't need a traditional shape, it doesn't rely on jelly roll construction, it doesn't need to be rectangular, cylindrical, or standardized. It can be stacked, pressed, molded. The representative literally says it could be shaped like a snowflake. That sounds like a throwaway comment, but it's massive. It means batteries no longer dictate design. Entire vehicle structures can become energy storage. Drone bodies, motorcycle frames, irregular cavities that were once wasted space now hold power. Designers get freedom back. Engineers stop fighting the battery and start integrating it into everything. This also explains how Donut Lab can pack so much energy into unconventional platforms. When you're no longer constrained by shape, efficiency jumps naturally. This is the kind of shift that doesn't just improve existing products, it creates new categories. Vehicles that were never practical before suddenly become viable.
They told me to take a closer look at the drone that was on display, and they told me that the whole of the body could be a battery, despite it being an irregular shape. I asked some additional questions on this, and a representative there said that the battery could in fact be any shape, even the complicated shape of a snowflake.
Like Lego blocks you can shape into anything, Donut Lab's battery molds to drones, motorcycles, and cars, turning wasted space into usable energy. 9. The skepticism that makes this more believable. Here's the uncomfortable part, and it actually helps Donut Lab's case. Not everyone believes this immediately. Even battery experts raised eyebrows. Constant current charging, constant voltage, 5-minute charging times, 100,000 cycle lifespan. These aren't small claims, they demand scrutiny. But skepticism doesn't automatically mean disbelief. What matters is context. Donut Lab already supplies motors in production vehicles. This isn't a startup waving a pitch deck and promising miracles. These are real engineers, real products, real timelines. Even critics admit something unusual is happening here. And more importantly, the company isn't hiding behind delays. These batteries are going into motorcycles. They will be torn apart, tested, verified. That's the difference between hype and confidence. They're letting reality do the talking. If it fails publicly. If it succeeds, it becomes undeniable.
So given the ongoing challenges in cost and large-scale manufacturing, should automakers continue to invest heavily in solid-state batteries, or focus instead on optimizing lithium-ion and hybrid technologies in the near term? Please share your opinion in the comments section below this video. Thanks for watching our video.
Experts doubted it, just like people doubt flying cars. But seeing real motorcycles with these batteries proves this isn't fantasy, it's real technology. 10. Why this could change more than just vehicles. This is where the impact becomes bigger than EVs. Grid storage without fire risk changes energy infrastructure overnight. Fast charging stations with internal energy buffers reduce strain on the grid. Home batteries that don't degrade over time change how people interact with electricity entirely. When energy storage becomes safe, fast, long-lasting, and flexible in shape, it quietly rewrites the rules of power distribution. Donut Lab isn't chasing a single market. They're positioning themselves everywhere energy needs to be stored and released. Vehicles, homes, charging networks, industrial systems. That's why OEMs flooded their booth. Everyone sees the same thing. This isn't just a better battery, it's a different category of energy storage. Imagine your home, school, and car all powered safely with a single battery that never dies. That's the kind of energy revolution happening here. Final thoughts. When you step back and connect all the dots, this stops being just another Eve story. A battery that survives 100,000 cycles, charges in minutes, works in extreme cold, and doesn't care about abuse completely rewrites expectations. The moment that really changes everything is what Marco explains in the charging clip. 0 to full in minutes, not theory, not marketing, real hardware. That's when EVs stop asking for patience and start beating gas vehicles at their own game. From motorcycles to cars, from homes to grid storage, this technology doesn't solve one problem. It removes the problem. Real factories, real products, real timelines. That's why this matters.
If their claims are true, this means that just about everything with a battery is about to be revolutionized. It means that electric vehicles will go far further than combustion cars, have quick recharge times, and the battery will last so long that it could become a family heirloom. So instead of fighting over your granddad's Rolex, it'll be wondering who can get the Donut Lab battery. With a claimed life of 100,000 cycles, my rough calculations put it at lasting around 50 million miles.
If Donut Lab's 100,000 cycle battery proves itself in the real world, this won't just be an upgrade, it'll be the moment batteries stopped being the weakest link in modern technology. Imagine EVs, home storage, and energy grids all suddenly becoming faster, safer, and longer lasting. This changes everything. If you enjoyed this deep dive, like the video, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next update. Comment below with your thoughts or questions. What would you do if batteries never degraded? We want to hear from you, and we'll explore the best questions in future videos.